We'll begin with the champs and the finals MVP, Kevin Durant, who spoke with Roz Gold on Wood A.
Hey, Kevin, good to see you.
See you too.
Yeah, this time last year, you were new. You don't want to step on any toes. You're trying to listen, trying to fit in. Now that you have a year under your belt, can you be more assertive and aggressive right from jump?
My assertive and aggressive is just a little different, I think. I just got to continue to approach the game the way I always approached it. I always wanted to learn and be a great teammate. So I may talk a little bit more because I'm a little bit more familiar with what we're doing here. But other than that, I'm still be the same, approach the game the same way I always did.
Last season, they leaned on you a lot on defense for blocks, rebounds, especially at the 4, getting more minutes there. You looking forward to more of that? Might that change this year?
I'm just looking forward to anything. You never know with Coach Kerr. He might throw me out there and tell me to play some point guard sometimes, or he might tell me to go guard a 5, so I got to be ready for every situation, and, I'm looking forward to getting better as the season goes on. All
right, you get your first championship. Does that kind of take the pressure off your shoulders, or does it motivate you to want even more?
I wouldn't say it was extra pressure on my shoulders. I think it was an experience that I always wanted to go through, and just to say that you did it, do it with this group of guys. It was such an amazing experience, and hopefully we get another chance to do so this year.
Do you get a lot more out of silencing critics, or does it come from within more with you?
To be honest, I just get joy just going out there and playing well. If I I could control how I go out there and the energy I bring and the spirit I bring. So I get a kick out of just going out there and having a great game. So I know how hard that is, and I know how tough that is to do that night in and night out. So if I focus on just trying to play well every night, I think that's what it just brings out that fun and brings out a different energy in me.
So it's not about you, it's not about others, it's about the game then.
Yeah, it's always about the game. I want to feel good when I'm out there. I want to make shots that I normally make. I want to play with energy. I want to beat my chest and scream at my teammates. I want to get the crowd involved. I think that's what I enjoy more so than anything. And whatever comes after that, it comes championships, first teams, all NBAs, accolades, whatever comes after that. If I center myself around just having fun when I'm out there and just enjoying when I'm out there, everything else will fall in line.
Well, I guess ideally a carbon copy of last season would be perfect, right? I mean, wound up finals MVP. He's got a ring on his finger as a result of all that. But Roz mentioned it. There were all these questions about how he would fit in this ensemble cast. He only averaged 25 points a game, about 2 off his career average. Things change. Well, what are your expectations for season number 2 for KD and Golden State?
Well, Madden 3D, I love the way he approached defensively, being able to block shots, and obviously because of his height and length and understanding the game. And I think also their defensive schemes and system put him in right place, but he was willing to really attack the defensive end. For me, the next step, if he can, just seeing if he can add this, where his passing is not to Steph, Clay, and Draymond. Those guys are going to get their points, where he can make guys who doesn't score as easy as those 3. Being able to get Zaza 2 or 3 easy buckets. Getting able to get Andre Iguodala 2 or 3 easy buckets. If he can start going to point forward with all the scoring he's doing, I just think it takes his game and the Golden State Warriors, if there's possible, to another level.
And to add to that, Smitty, he's a student of the game, man. He's a gym rat. I think he can do that because the first thing Steve Kerr challenged him was defensively that side of the floor. He did that all year. 7 blocks in 1 game career high. Switching, guarding 5 men. He did that. Passing out of the double teams. He did that. So now my question is, are you ready for that bullseye on your back to be bigger? Because now they want you to do more. Can you set better screens? And people at home said, what do you mean, Kevin Durant? Steve Kerr said if you set a better screen to get your teammate open, that gets you open. Little things like that don't show up on the stat sheet. Steve Kerr challenged Kevin Durant last year, and he did that.
What about personality-wise and the way he fit in with that group? And what, if anything, changes now that he's been with them through the rigors of a postseason and come out the other side with a championship?
I think things get easier now because now you've been down the road. You understand, like, when Kevin Durant got hurt, that gave Steph Curry, say, okay, let me go back to being Steph and let's do what I do. Then when Kevin Durant got healthy, he said, okay, Kev, come on back in. We can do this together. And I think that chemistry, Smitty, is why they play so well together.
Yeah, I do. I think when 3D hit it right on the nose, I think also after another year, it's like when you get a chance to work with each other, especially as teammates, I can be harder on you. Mm-hmm. I don't have to tip a rope. Does he like this? Can I say this? I think now you know him as well. You can joke about doing something right, and Draymond can be a little bit more hard on him. He can be hard on Draymond and vice versa, and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. I think that chemistry will go to another level.
Yeah, you guys have been yelling at me for like 4 or 5 years now.
You're used to it now. You know what you're doing at? It goes right here and out the other. I know.
That's exactly right. Durant and Steph Curry each signed new deals, of course, over the summer. Durant's notable for what he left on the table. He signed for 2 years, about $51 million. That's about 9 short of where he could have gotten. Curry's was notable as the most lucrative contract in league history, a cool $201 million over 5 years. Here's his chat with Roz.
Being passive didn't work, so that's the biggest lesson we learned early in the year. Like, we have so much talent, guys that really blend well together, but everybody has to be ultra aggressive with their role and what they're capable of. You don't have to sacrifice really anything to make other people kind of comfortable or anything, because we all know how to play the game. We figured that out, towards the second half of the year, and even when KD went out last year, we went on a run and were able to gain that confidence as a unit going into the playoffs, and the rest is history.
You guys were dominant last year. How can you improve this year?
It's hard to say because, we do have pretty much the same team back, a couple of, pieces, Nick Young, Almer Caspi, Jordan Bell, so it'll be interesting just to kind of answer that question as we go along, to be honest. We know what the bar is when it comes to, being a championship winning team, but there are going to be totally different challenges when it comes to the competition. The landscape of the league is different.
You talk about, the changing landscape of the league. People are moving around rapidly. Teams are stacking up. How do you process the fact that it might be, or it likely is, because of you guys and they want what you have and everybody's trying to build their squad up?
That concept may be true, but it's not any different than generations of past where you had dominant teams and everybody's figuring out how to try to beat them, and that's good for the league to see that that initiative take place across all the different organizations. So for us, obviously, we know we're very comfortable in who we are and our identity as a team and what we need to do going forward this year to win another championship. But understanding the different looks across the league, Houston, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, especially in the Western Conference for us. So in Minnesota, every team, every night we step foot on the floor is going to be a challenge. And just because we won the championship last year and had a great season doesn't mean we can just show up and do it again.
We could have put together a bunch of different graphics on Steph Curry. Here's one of them. He owns 4 of the top 5 three-point shooting seasons of all time. Remarkably, he's still not led the league in three-point percentage at this point. Well, that's hard to do with the sample size.
Yeah, there you go.
Take so many of them.
Yes, there you go.
He's also already just the 9th player with multiple MVP awards and multiple championships. Think about that. He won't turn 30 until the second half of the season. So at this point in his career, what's out there for him, not only in terms of this season, but you're starting to get into legacy territory here.
Well, I think the first thing that comes to mind is taking better care of the basketball. As much as he has fun, he has those, dribble exhibitions for the games, for the fans, is great. But there's always 3 or 4 possessions throughout the game where you're like, oh, come on, Steph, what are you doing? We thought you cut that out. I think he needs to clean it up a little bit. And defensively, I think he's gotten better, but guard your man. Take some of that pressure off of Klay Thompson, because if it's the point guard or the other 2-man, Klay Thompson normally guards that other perimeter player. I think defensively, if he can step his game a little bit and take on more of that challenge, that's all I have.
You don't like the 25-foot left-handed hook pass?
No, I don't mind. Every now and then one goes through and we all go, oh my God, great pass. And then one goes bad in the fourth quarter. Steve Kerr's like, oh my goodness, thank God he's a former MVP. I can let him slide on this one. But outside of that, guys, that's the only 2 things I can think of that really nitpick, because the passing, the scoring, maybe get to the free throw line a little bit more, Smitty. That's the only I can think of.
He got to rebound more. No, I don't know. I think it 3D hit it. I think it's defense for me and the turnovers. But I think also, Matt, you said it. I think not only a three-point percentage, I think that's going to be hard because he takes so many. Yeah. And obviously he has some fun taking it. I think I really want to challenge him to see what he can do at that free throw line. Can he get up to about 96%? Because he has a capability. Just something the nitpick-wise. And you can see when he misses a 3, he's not as frustrated as he misses a free throw. Every time he misses a free throw, you can tell he really wants to make every free throw. And then 3D hit it, I think for him is being able to guard your man a little bit more, take some pressure off Klay.
So what would be the personal goal? If you could plant one in his head for this season. I mean, you want to win a championship, obviously.
I would think being able to shoot 400, make 453s. And
450 now,
450.
yeah, up in the end.
And then also lead the league in three-point percentage, which I'm sure would be hard because he takes so much. And then also lead the league in free throw percentage. And I think for him is see how efficient he can be. You know, we always talk about that 50, 40, 90.
Right.
Can he take that to 50, 45, 95?
Can you lead the league in assists? The ball's in your hand. You have one of the best scorers that ever do it on one side. You have one of the best shooters on the other wing we've ever seen. And Draymond's not too bad at filling that lane and getting to the basket and finish around the basket. Can you take your assist level to the next level and lead the NBA?
You know what, 3D? I don't think he can. Reason why, unless he go rebound. Because Draymond's going to grab it and push it. And Durant's going to grab it and push it. And I think he wants to get out of that.
Yes, exactly.
Plus, he likes shooting.
He likes shooting, too.
There's that as well.
He's like, 3D, I don't want to be no real point guard.
I was trying. I'm nitpicking.
The parade this year, can you reflect a little bit on what he was able to do since then for this team?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely had, high praise for Bob. That hasn't changed one bit. If anything, it's higher. But, what he did, with this team was fantastic to keep. I don't know how often someone brings 12 guys back. I don't think that's usually the case, but, for us to bring 12 guys back and with the additions we had, added, I think it was a great offseason. To sign every guy that we said we were going to re-sign. It never usually happens like that. So a lot of credit to Bob, and getting the job done. A lot of credit to ownership and stepping up and, giving Bob the resources that it takes to get the job done. I think, they all form an incredible team and partnership, and, it showed in Bob's work in free agency.
Ann Killian with the San Francisco Chronicle. One of the talking points during this very short offseason has been whether you guys are going to go to the White House or not. And I'm just wondering, some of your teammates have spoken out and said they won't. And I'm just wondering where you stand on that. I understand you guys are going to have a discussion as a team.
We're going to have a discussion. Pretty much kind of take the temperature of everyone. And we're going to decide whatever's best. Whatever we think is best for us. It may not be the popular thing to do, the most popular thing, or, whatever we decide. But at the end of the day, we are the ones that have to attend if we decide to attend. And I think it's only right that, we all decide together. It's not one person choice. It's not two people. It'll be between all of us. And we'll come up with a decision and then go from there. I mean, I have an opinion on pretty much everything, That's just, who I am. But at the end of the day, like I said, this isn't a personal decision, so I can kind of have my opinion on what I think. But I could think, hell no, I'm not going, or I could think, hell yeah, I want to go. End of the day, we're going to decide as a team. And so if we're deciding as a team, one person's opinion doesn't matter. We're going to collectively come together and decide what we think is best for everyone.
Great middle section, last row.
CJ Peterson, SF Bay. Draymond, as someone who's experienced, mishaps on social media yourself, did you reach out to KD after his Twitter fiasco at all? And if so, what advice did you give him?
Jesus, throw me under the bus, why don't you?
Just saying the truth, man.
Never let me, just let me float. I reached out to him. I talked to him through text the day of. And then the next day I saw him in person and I laughed in his face. I thought it was, I got a good laughter out of it. It's pretty funny to me. And I reminded him, since you want to talk about my mishap, I reminded him of my mishap, and when we were at USA Basketball, the day my mishap happened, I was stressed out, and all of them were laughing in my face, from him to DeMarcus, probably was the worst. And the beat goes on, they all laughed in my face, so it was a little payback. I stood right there, over there, and laughed in his face, and it felt pretty damn good to do.
Second row, left-hand side.
Matt Kolsky, SF Examiner. Obviously, you said Bob brought 12 guys back. A lot of your competition, specifically in the West, changed a lot. How much time do you spend thinking about, all right, now we got this pairing to look at, maybe it's how your defensive responsibilities might change against different teams? How much of your offseason do you think about that stuff?
I try to spend my offseason not thinking about the season at all, other than preparing myself, for the things that I want to accomplish. Try not to focus on, what other teams are doing. Obviously, I'm a basketball fan. You see it all just like y'all see it all. But to worry or try to plan, I'll try not, season's long enough to have to do that. I think at the end of the day, yeah, teams did make a lot of moves, but our goal is the same goal as it's always been: be the best version of us that we can be. And I think just like any other year, when we're the best version of us that we can be, and we get better each and every time we step on the floor, I still think we're the best team. So that's just my opinion. So I focus and worry about us, and what we're going to do, not necessarily how another team is going to gel or how this duo is. I think if we take care of what we need to take care of, it really don't matter how someone else gel.
First row, right-hand side here,
Yeah,
Scott.
Scott Osler, the Chronicle. Hey, Draymond. Steve indicated that you went with him and KD, I think, to Los Angeles to help recruit Nick Young. And obviously you were in on the recruiting of KD and all that stuff. Do you see that as actual important function of you with the team being kind of a salesman and selling the team to guys like that?
I just love to win. Actually, I hate to lose. And in hating to lose, you got to find ways to get better. And, helping recruit guys is one of the ways that you get better. So I don't take it for granted. I don't take it like, oh, it's Steve's job just to go, or it's Bob's job. Like, at the end of the day, Nick will never step on the floor with Steve. He'll never step on the floor with Bob. And I know how I would look at it if a team was recruiting me. Like, yeah, you want, to be able to talk to your GM, and you want to have rapport with your coach, but at the end of the day, you can never step out there with them. So I need to know the guys I'm really going in the pits with. Who am I going out there and battling with? Who am I around every day? I think that's sometimes more important. I know that's how I would look at it. Like I said, if I was a guy being recruited, one of the reasons I chose to go to Michigan State was because I loved the guys there, and they recruited me. And so that kind of taught me a lesson dating back to high school, and I just kind of, stick by it.
Same row.
You won 2 championships. At what point does making history become part of your motivation for doing this? Because you have to find ways to get motivated, I'm sure, other than just wanting.
It's always somewhere in the back of your mind. I don't think you're going into every day thinking, oh man, we're going to make history. It's so hard to make history. That's over a course of time, and you have to approach that year by year. So I think, I think it's okay to have goals like that. But those are long-term goals. I think you have to set the short-term goals in order to reach those. And so the history for us would be to try to repeat. 7 teams, 8 teams or something like that that's repeated? We want to do that. We had an opportunity up 3-1 and couldn't close the deal. So that's something that we want to do. And so I think when you're setting short-term goals like that, you can set the goal of, making history if you want, but if you set the right short-term goals, history will be made anyway if you can reach those short-term goals.
2 more for Draymond, second row, middle.
Dieter Kurtenbach, Bay Area News Group. Been a pretty crazy 3-year run going from an upstart team to now the quote-unquote super villains. Did you have a chance at all this summer to reflect on just what's happened over the last 3 years, and how do you think you've adjusted from going from that plucky team that no one really thought to now a historically, arguably great franchise?
I do think about that all the time. It's a special thing. And I think a lot of times in life, we forget to live in the moment, especially in our day and age, with social media. Let me record this. And I miss everything I'm watching because I'm looking at it through a phone. You forget to enjoy the moment. So for me, I try to enjoy the moment. That's one thing I really try to live by is, really enjoying it. And with things like this, as much as I try to enjoy the moment, you will never fully understand it until it's over. And as crazy as that sounds, we all say like, hey man, enjoy it while you got it, because once it's over, it's over. And you do that to the best of your ability, but you will still never get the full understanding until it's over. Because at the end of the day, I'm still grinding every day trying to make it happen again, trying to do this better, trying to do that better. So you can never really get it until you're done with it and you look back. So for instance, looking back at last season, I can look back at it and say, man, that was special. But then you're on so quick to like, how do we do that again next year? How do we get better, and all these different things. But I do reflect a lot. I think it's been an amazing 3 years. You look at the things that, we've been able to accomplish as a team, as an organization, and then, things guys have been able to accomplish individually as well. I think it's been special, and, it's definitely something that this group doesn't take for granted. I'm not surprised, but I also know it wasn't easy. Sometimes it may look easy when you win 73 games, 67 and whatever the other number was, 60-something. It may look easy to go to 3 straight finals, to have won 2 out of 3, but it's hard. It's extremely hard. So I never sit back and say, oh, man, we did that easy. It wasn't easy. It's hard work every single day. To say that I think it would happen that fast, you kind of saw guys, you saw us growing as a team, but you definitely saw guys coming into their own. If you look at Steph's career 3 years ago, like he wasn't where he is today. Clay, myself, the beat goes on. Like, if you look at the dramatic changes in individuals over the last 3 years, then you can kind of sit back and say, okay, I understand their dominance. But it definitely starts with, guys getting better as individual players in order to make the team better.
Last one for Draymond.
Mark Medina, Mercury News. Circling back to what you're saying about giving Kevin a hard time about the tweet, what's his mood been like overall and his reaction after you were giving him a hard time?
You can definitely tell he was salty about it. He said, I was just really having fun, and then I went too far. And I understand that, We all do things in life where we're just having fun, and you look up and like, uh-oh, that was fun for the time being. Now it's not so fun anymore. Like, I think everyone in here, including myself, has all done that, where you're just living in the moment. You're enjoying what you're doing, and then you realize, like, yeah, that probably wasn't the best idea. At the end of the day, there's still a human element to this whole thing. Whether you're the first best or second or third or fourth best player in the league to the 500, or 450 or whatever, however many guys it is, there's still a human element to this. And things like that show that human element. And so at the end of the day, we move on. He's not a distraction to us. He stepped on the floor, play hard every night. He didn't go out and, commit a crime. At the end of the day, and it maybe weren't the right tweets, but he sent some tweets. And, I know Kevin's a smart guy. I know he's a remorseful guy. Sometimes probably too remorseful, but at the end of the day, that's who he is. He feels bad about it. There's nothing he can do to change it. He came out, he took credit for it, which I respect. There are so many different things that he could have done. And saying, yeah, that wasn't me, or like somebody else. Like, he could have done so many other things. He stepped up, he said, I did it, I was wrong, and we move on from it.
In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station.
Radio Hall of Fame basketball. The first NBA radio for all the fans around the world. Radio Hall of Fame basketball. We talk about NBA. We talk about passion. We are your radio.
Game a couple years ago when Omri came in with the Kings and sort of lit up the Oracle with all of his threes, and you guys got involved in that. And is that sort of, when you think about that game, is that what you see him contributing for you guys?
That was a crazy atmosphere. watching kind of how the first half unfolded, not a lot was going on until like the end of the first quarter. He hit a couple threes. We had some breakdowns. He took advantage of it. And then that whole second quarter was just back and forth, trading threes, back, one after the other, really. And their bench was into it. Our home crowd was into it. He's such a kind of unique player with his skill set, being able to shoot threes, move without the ball. He's a great passer. Very versatile, I think, on the wing, being able to do a lot of different things. So he should blend right into exactly how we play, and looking forward to him giving us a huge bonus off the bench.
Front row, far left.
Steph, Mark Spears, ESPN. You've played with a lot of interesting point guards from a game standpoint and shooting guards, personality standpoint. What do you think about Nick Young as a player and also his personality?
I mean, I've gotten to know him a little bit since over the summer since he's been signed with us, and obviously playing against him for years. His kind of personality and his character. He's always having fun. Looks like he's always smiling, enjoying whatever he's doing on and off the court, which is something that is very consistent with our culture here. And so I know he'll have a good time in the locker room and on the court playing with us. He's going to have a very defined role with what he does, coming in and obviously defending at a high level, but just getting buckets and doing it his way, but within Warriors basketball. So it's going to be fun to watch. We expect a lot out of him, and from a team kind of concept and aspect, I think he'll be just fine, adapting to our style and blending his personality with the team and how we do things.
Front row, right side, Tim.
Yes, Steph. Tim Kawakami, The Athletic, over here. You've been very clear. The Athletic.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I hope you're a subscriber. You get a free one or anything? We'll get you a golden bag. Yeah. I'm sorry.
You're on the shameless plugs now, too. I like that.
I am. I don't know where I get that. Your opinion about the current administration and about the projected trip to the White House has been very clear. You've said you do not intend to go. Bob says the team will talk about it. There's been no final decision. How do you expect that conversation to go, knowing your opinion and your teammates who've been very clear about this? Can your opinion be changed? And do you expect this to be just a player discussion, or does management count too in this?
Just like our country, every opinion counts and matters. I don't know if I can predict how the conversation will go. I know based on our conversations we've had in the past and things people have said to the media, to each other, whatever. I know pretty much where everybody kind of stands on it, but we want to respect the opportunity that we have to represent not only ourselves, our own beliefs, but our organization, because we're obviously in this position because we won a championship and we did something special together. And so for us to just really take the time to understand the magnitude of this decision and the right thing to do and the right way to go about it is important. And we'll respect that as we have this conversation whenever it happens in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, I think when that message comes out and the actual decision of what we're going to do, we'll have a better explanation at that point. But yeah, my views haven't changed at all. I don't know if they can be changed, but yeah, that's kind of where I stand right now.
Second row, left-hand side, Felicia.
Hi, Steph. Felicia Purcell, Sports in the Bay. So what happened to the Twisties?
The what?
The Twisties.
I had to hit the reset button for a little bit, so
right.
Not out the question down the road.
Right. Well, that wasn't the ultimate question. Aisha has become her own brand in her own right, doing big things. Talk about how proud you are of her, and what was it like filming the Infinity commercial with Riley?
I'm in business to support my family, and my wife especially, in all her endeavors. She's doing some amazing things, inspiring a lot of people with the platform she has, and everything that you see is out of her own vision and her own belief in herself and what she's able to accomplish. So it's been pretty awesome just to watch her, grow and develop, and sky's the limit for all the things that she's going to be able to do down the road, showcasing her talents with the world. And with the commercial, O'Reilly was pretty cool, just seeing her be herself. And it's kind of crazy. She was on set for like 30 minutes and drew that little track and had some fun. We had that little interaction on set. We were able to put together a pretty cool piece that now she gets to go, watch when she's graduating high school down the road, and I get to show her, this is what you were like when you were 5, having fun with Daddy. So that's pretty cool for me to be able to share that experience with her.
Front row center, Chris.
Chris Haynes, ESPN. What's up, sir? Have you had a chance to? What's your take on Kyrie forcing the trade to Boston? And obviously, Cleveland has been a team with the nucleus of LeBron and Kyrie for so long, and now it's just changed just like that. What was your initial reaction, and what is it like now?
Yeah, I guess it was something unexpected, I guess, from the outside. You don't know what's going on or what's been going on the last 3 years in the organization. That's not for us to know. But I know Draymond pretty much said it well. I think I heard him say the fact that he's betting on himself and wherever he didn't know what situation he was going to end up in, and when he requested the trade, and I don't think it mattered to him. Because he's 100% confidence in himself to be the player that he really thinks he is, and that's huge. That confidence that speaks volumes. They obviously accomplished a lot, 3 straight finals, and obviously winning the championship last year. So it was a great run for us playing against that particular lineup, and now as you go forward this year, it's gonna be crazy just watching the storylines and how the Eastern Conference unfolds throughout the course of the season. So I think we play right after them on opening night, but it should be a fun game to watch on the 17th.
Front row center, Tim.
Hey, Steph. Tim Bonderson, The Washington Post. You talked before about the White House visit and how this whole thing's become pretty important to you. I know you said to Rachel before that you want it to be a statement, that you guys are making a statement by not going. That's kind of your opinion on it. What kind of statement do you want to make by doing that? And you're not exactly Draymond in terms of kind of taking forceful positions on things all the time. Why have you decided that this is something you really want to make a big statement about?
Is I don't think I don't want to go. That's really it. I mean, that's kind of that's the nucleus of my belief, and I think it is different. It's not just me going to the White House. If it was, this would be a pretty short conversation. But it's like I said, it's the organization, it's the team, and it's hard to say because I don't know exactly what we're going to do in lieu of, or if we do go, if we don't go, or whatever. But my beliefs stay the same. So. I have a better answer for that once I can kind of understand where the group is, too.
What do you want that statement to be?
You mean if that were the case?
Yeah, like what like you said you want to make that to be a statement, you guys would make a statement by...
we don't stand for basically what our president has, the things that he said and the things that he hasn't said in the right times, that we won't stand for it. And by acting and not going, hopefully that will inspire some change when it comes to what we tolerate in this country and what is accepted and what we turn a blind eye to. I mean, it's not just the act of not going. There are things that you have to do on the back end to actually push that message into motion. You can talk about all the different personalities that have said things and done things, from Kaepernick to what happened to Martellus Bennett, to all sorts of examples of what has gone on in our country that we need to kind of change, and we all are trying to do what we can. We're using our platforms, using our opportunities to shed light on that. So that's kind of where I stand on it. But yeah, I don't think us not going to the White House is going to miraculously make everything better. But there are things that this is my opportunity to voice that.
Great. 2 more for Steph, second row center. Phil?
Hey, Steph. Phil Barber, Santa Rosa Press Democrat. A year ago, with Kevin's arrival, the big question was, are there enough shots to go around for this team? And obviously you guys answered that. Now you've signed a couple more guys known for their shooting in Nick and Caspi. Has that challenge gotten even more complicated or greater in a way?
Nah, because of the way we play, everybody touches the ball. Everybody's involved. Everybody should be a threat when they're on the floor. And we just, with the IQ guys high IQ guys we have on this team, we just find a way for it all to kind of blend and work. Coach Kerr does a great job of preaching that message of, we do have our playmakers and guys that can get a bucket when we need to, but throughout the course of the game, the way that shots are created, you have to use every single person that's out there on the floor to make that happen. And guys that can put it on the floor, guys that can pass, guys that can knock down open shots, the more that you have on the floor, the better off you are, I think. And we don't have guys that are selfish at all, that are jealous of anybody else's success, or going to create drama if they get 5 shots one game and 15 shots the next game, as long as we win.
Last one for Steph. Marcus?
Steph, you said before, after the Panthers game or during it, that you had a conversation with KD about the Under Armour remarks. One of the concerns is that the shoe stuff might get into the chemistry on the court. Do you anticipate you needing to do anything to make sure that doesn't happen or that becoming an issue? And secondarily, do you want to confess to any secret accounts?
No. Me and KD, all the talks off the court, it is what it is. Obviously, he said what he said, and he had a certain viewpoint on the grassroots industry and brand loyalty and all that kind of stuff. And then obviously, I know what we've been able to accomplish from an Under Armour basketball standpoint and a Curry product standpoint in the last really 3.5 years, building that business to something that means something in the shoe game. So I guess maybe in practice we should just play in our socks and call it a day. That'd probably be the best way to make sure there's no drama when practice starts, you know what I'm saying? So we might do that.
Great. Thank you. Okay, we'll have
unbranded socks, not.
Yeah, all right. We'll have Omri will be in here.
In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station.
Radio Hall of Fame Basketball. The first NBA radio for all the fans around the world. Radio Hall of Fame Basketball. We talk about NBA. We talk about passion. We are your radio.
Ramona Shelburne, ESPN.
Hello.
So, I ask this with all due respect, but are you aware that there's now a thing called China Clay? And is China Clay the same as Clay?
I'm very aware. I guess you have to find out in about 8 days. So, but I didn't know it would go so viral when I was over there. I was just having a great time, but I forgot the internet existed. So now I know. Yeah.
Clay.
Second row middle.
Peter Kurtenbach, Bay Area News Group. I'm curious as to your thoughts on how this team has evolved emotionally over the last few years, going from kind of a plucky upstart to now, obviously, for the last 2 years, a team with a target on their back.
Well, look around you. There's a lot of cameras here. It wasn't like this my first 3 years. It was, I think we each just had a table. I think you guys are just able to come around and talk to us. I actually like that more, actually, because my table wasn't that packed, so. But it's great. I mean, it's a great thing if there's this much media here. It means you're doing something special. And I think we all just, especially our vets, we realize it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and we're starting up September 22nd, and we're trying to play till around June 22nd. So just got to take it in stride, and I think we're all ready for this season. we all came in here in great shape, and we know that last year's now in the past, and it's a new journey to bring back that trophy again.
Following up on that, obviously there were a lot of moves made this offseason by other teams, and I know everyone is just focusing on themselves, but do you guys, I don't know if fence is the right word, but do you guys notice that at all, and does it fire you guys up at all?
Oh, yeah. I mean, these teams aren't just sitting back and waiting for something to happen. They're being active out there in the market, and you got to respect that. You know, the Rockets got much better, adding a Hall of Famer in Chris Paul. I mean, the Thunder got better, adding Paul, and even the T-Wolves, who we're going to see in a couple weeks, will be a lot of fun to play. Yeah, it's crazy. The West just got stronger, but it'll be fun. And like I said, teams aren't waiting for something to happen. They're not waiting to get lucky. They're out there they're doing something about it, and we take notice, and that keeps us on the edge, and it doesn't allow us to relax one bit.
Second row, left-hand side.
Clay, Jeff Ferrato for the Bay Area News Group. Going back to your trip to China, can you just talk about one or two of the most memorable things you experienced over there, what you'll keep with you over the years? And also, you've improved your game every single season. What would you like to add to what you're able to do this year?
Ooh, it's all good questions. Well, I appreciate going to China because when I was a kid, I never thought I'd have fans across the world, especially the amount of fans we now have. That's why I'm excited to get there in about 8-10 days, wherever it is. And to see all the new Warrior fans is going to be special. Because I remember we went over the last time, it was Laker country. So now we go over, there's going to be a lot of Curry jerseys, Durant, Draymond Green, hopefully mine, in the crowd. And it's going to be like a home game. And my most memorable moments going over there are just the crowds I drew. I never thought I'd be doing promos in front of 5,000-6,000 people, shooting clinics as well. And we don't even speak the same language. So it's really cool to know that basketball is a world language now, and they're so eager to learn, and they're eager to see our talent. And for me, this year, I'm just trying to be more efficient as well. I can always be more efficient. And I know Steph and KD have hit the 50, 40, 90 mark, so I'd like to join that club with them. That'd be sweet.
Third row, right-hand side, Monty.
Monty Poole, NBC Sports Bay Area. Clay, 2 years ago, you guys had that first championship feeling. This summer, you had that redemption championship feeling. Which is better? Are they similar? Just explain the difference between winning the first one and then winning this one after losing a chance the year before.
Well, the first time I came around the first championship, it was something so new to me. So I obviously had a great summer after that, just because, I couldn't really grasp I was a champion so young. And last summer was obviously the exact opposite. It was a lot of waiting around, just eager to get the season back, like you said, get that redemption. But I can't put one in front of the other, man. It's so hard. It's like having kids. You can't pick which one's better, like you like more. So, but this summer, definitely, I knew how to pace myself, and just, that championship aura didn't last as long as the first time. But I obviously still feel like the champion. But I worked harder this summer, I'd say, because I know how many more teams are gunning for that title. They're not. Everyone wants to see the Warriors lose now, and which is fine. I mean, it's a great position to be in when you're probably the most hated in the league. All the greatest teams are hated, so we embrace it.
Middle section, second row, Phil.
Hey, Clay, Phil Barber, right in front of you, Santa Rosa Press, Democrat. You guys are going back to China. What can you tell your teammates to enlighten them about that culture? And since you know more than they do, is there anything you can do to troll them while you're over there?
My Chinese is probably the best on the team. So if they need a translator, I'm here for them. And I would just tell them to be open-minded, be gracious to the fans, because this is probably the first time, this is probably the only impression you'll ever give them. And they look up to us like idols, and they follow every move, so it's really cool to me. But a lot of guys, especially the big shoe guys like Draymond, Andre, and Steph and KD, they've taken many trips overseas to China and to the Far East, so they know what it's like. But for the young guys, just tell them to embrace the culture, and look where basketball is taking you. It's taking you across the globe, and you see a different side of the world you probably never thought you'd see as a kid.
Second row, right-hand side here.
Jordan Ramirez with Warriors World. Clay, obviously KD's situation has made all the headlines this week. What's the team's mood been like around that? Dre said he texted him the day of, and then he laughed in his face the next day. Are you guys kind of having the same mood around that? You kind of just hope kind of moves on and you
yeah, it's not a big deal at all. I didn't even like when I was info about it. I was like, okay, it's the internet. It's not that big a deal. And same thing happened with Draymond. I don't want to bring up anything in the past, but we all move on, and it's not the first time we all made mistakes with technology. So we're all just excited to get camp started tomorrow. And the best part about this team is we can all joke about things like that. Life's too short to, take anything way too serious. So we'll have fun about it. I'm sure Steve will have some up his sleeve to make fun of us for it.
Middle section, second row.
Hi, Clay. Katie Baker from The Ringer. I'm hoping you can offer us 2 scouting reports based on what you've seen over the last year. The first is JaVale McGee's three-point shot.
Yeah, wow. It's gotten a lot better. The only I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Second one.
I want to hear the rest of this.
Yeah, I'm actually really impressed. I saw him hit some in the Drew League. I've seen it on his Instagram. He hit like 9 in a row, and we knew he could shoot them. But he's just so good around the rim. We kind of just don't want him venturing out there. But if he's open, man, let it fly, JaVale. He's got to prove it. You got to have a shoot-off with me, Steph, and KD before he can shoot those in a game, though. And Nick. I forgot about we got Nick now. He's a phenomenal catch-and-shoot player, so we got some shooters on the team. So JaVale's got to shoot with us first before he can translate that to the game. But I have confidence in him.
Thank you. The second one is Steph Curry's golf game.
Yeah, it's impressive. I was very impressed. He shot a 74 at that Web.com tourney. I played it with Andre the day before, and the greens are so fast. You're playing in front of it's a different element because you're playing in front of hundreds of people, and you're not used to it. So Steph is very composed, and I tell people we'll probably see him on the senior tour when his basketball career is over. I would like to join him.
In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station.
They're bringing a microphone to you right here.
Yeah, Kevin, Mark Medina, Mercury News. Can you just take us through what this past week, different emotions, just given what happened with the Twitter stuff?
Nothing really. I moved past it. I spoke on it, and looking forward to starting camp tomorrow.
Go ahead, Anthony.
Anthony Slater with The Athletic. Kevin, you were pretty forceful in the summer about your thoughts about visiting the White House. And everyone's kind of come up and said the team will still discuss. It hasn't been decided. But Steph came up and was basically like, look, it's going to be tough to change my mind. Where are you at right now with that?
Yeah, it's going to be tough to change my mind, but we're going to talk about it as a team and figure out the next steps from there.
Front row, Chris.
Chris Haynes, ESPN. Kevin, what are some... You seem like you accomplished everything there was team-wise and individually last year. What are still some goals of you moving on to this next season?
Well, just do more of it. Just do more what we did last year. Try to duplicate the success, but know it's a different season. Knowing it's we got to leave that in the past, and just try to get better from it. And we're not thinking about being better than last year at all. We're just it's a new season. Just come in and work hard from day one, man, and see where it takes us.
Front row, left-hand side, Mark.
Mark Spears, ESPN Undefeated. Kevin, what was it like when you walk into this locker room and you're the new guy, and when you think about Nick and Omri, like, is it a little intimidating? I know you're a great player, but is it a little intimidating walking into this group and trying to fit in?
No, I think those guys, Omri and Nick, they feel like, they walked in here and it felt like they belonged, feel like they've been here with us for a while. And, nobody on the team is, Steph and Dre and Clay, myself, Andre, Dot, we just, feel like they just welcome everybody in. They did the same with me last year, and it feels the same way this year. So, looking forward to going out there and getting on the court with everybody tomorrow.
How does Nick fit in from a game and also a personality standpoint?
I think his personality fits perfectly. Just being who he is, just a lot of energy, just a lot of excitement around playing for us. But on top of that, Nick just always has that excitement with him. It just feels that way every time I see him. And so to be able to work with him every day is going to be a joy. And I know his game is going to translate, guy that can shoot the ball, can score, create for everybody. I'm looking forward to going out there and getting better with him.
Second row, middle.
Katie Baker from The Ringer. Also a question regarding Nick. I know that you went with Coach Kerr and to talk to him this summer. What was your message to him, and what do you remember specifically from when you were on the other side of that you maybe tried to bring to that conversation?
Oh, I just told him that it's a great environment. He'll have fun playing basketball here every day, and he came the next week.
Front row, left-hand side, Janie.
Hi, Kevin. Janie McCauley from AP. Are you pretty amazed that this roster came back together the way it did? I mean, you had spoken at the end of the year just how you were committed to doing that, taking, whatever you needed to do financially. But still, you've got everybody back almost.
Yeah, I mean, guys wanted to be back, and, we have good communication from the front office. Bob and the rest of the staff communicates with all the players. So, it's great to see, everybody back and, see if we can do this thing again. It's going to be an exciting year for us, and glad that Steph is back and Dre and Dot, and, just glad we got everybody back together and ready to start playing again.
Front row, right-hand side, Marcus.
Two questions for you, Katie. How strong is the chemistry of this team, and ready are you guys to deal with all that's already has happened and it's about to happen as people constantly talk about you guys? And secondarily, Draymond said he laughed at you. Was it at all, the way he handled that, did that help you get through it or help you deal with it better?
What was your first question again? I'm sorry. Oh, the chemistry? Yeah. I think our chemistry will be good. I mean, chemistry is all about how you play on the court, and I think everybody has a good feel of what we need to do on the basketball court. And we all have good personalities here in the locker room, so, just a matter of just getting on the court, just getting better, finding that rhythm again. And, Draymond laughs at everything.
Second row, left-hand side, Felicia.
Felicia Purcell, Sports in the Bay. Hi, Kevin.
How you doing?
Good. You had mentioned at the end of the season that you had got a text from an ex-girlfriend. Did you get, I'm sure the off-season has just been like a wild moment for you. A lot of people, 10th cousins removed and all that kind of crazy stuff. Did you get any other texts from someone from your past or someone that you were excited about, say an actor, entertainer?
Nah, nobody. Nah. And if I did, I'll keep that to myself.
All right, front row, right.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Front row, right-hand side, Tim.
Tim Calcom, The Athletic. It's been a while since you made the decision to give up a lot of money, many millions in your contract situation. Just what was the origination for that? When did you really decide, hey, I don't need to get the max or even the non-bird max? And could you see doing it again?
I'm blessed enough to make a lot of money, and I'm blessed enough to take care of my family, and it's a great feeling when you don't have to make decisions based on that. And that's what I did. Just made a decision on how I felt, and I wanted to be back here no matter what, and we worked it out. We'll see. I don't know. I'm just taking it a day at a time. When that time comes, we'll figure it out. But for right now, focus on tomorrow.
Second row, center.
Right in the middle, Kevin. Phil Barber, Santa Rosa Press Democrat. You've had a little time to reflect on the championship now. Does the fire for another one feel any different? Does it burn any less brightly than what you were feeling before?
It's a different feeling. I mean, you just know what's important. Just going on the court, you still have to play no matter what. You can have the desire and you feel like you deserve to win another one, or you feel like you're going to get there, all of this aura around the game might feel like we're going to go there for sure, but we still got to go out there and produce and play and get better on the court. So if we focus on that, just focus on that. We'll see what happens, and try not to think too far down the line. It's a long season. Anything can happen. So just focus on how we can get better minute by minute in practice. Then the rest will take care of itself.
Front row, center, Mark.
Kevin, as much as you had success individually and the team did last year, the fact that you're back with the same group, are there specific things that you envision becoming easier this season than last year?
I don't think anything in this game is easier. I think for us it's just a matter of us, from the beginning, knowing what we have to do, knowing what our goal is,
and coming to work every day. I mean, it's simple. I think everybody here is a professional and knows how to work and knows how to bring something to the table and know what we have to do in order for us to be a good team. And if we all come in and bring a small part of us and make it into a group, we'll be fine.
Third row, right-hand side, Monty.
Monty Poole, NBC Sports Bay Area. Kevin, last year when you came here, you obviously were, coming to a whole new place or a whole new way of doing things. I'm curious as to know now, with that year behind you, are you accustomed to what they do around here and how they do it? You said, I know you and David and...
How we do it?
Yeah, you and David and Mike B, and you guys were all like, this is unusual, some of the stuff that goes on around here, how you guys do it. Are you totally down with that? You seem to be last year. And what does that mean going into this year?
It just means that I know when the music going to come on before practice starts. I know usually when coach going to turn it off. I know different segments in practice now that he might throw out there, so nothing is a surprise. So just knowing that stuff, knowing exactly how we're going to start practice, and so just knowing that is definitely easier for me coming in. Just knowing that flow and that rhythm of how practice goes, and that definitely makes life as an NBA player easier when you know that flow. So I'm excited about that. Looking forward to just getting back out there with the guys again, man. It seemed like it's been a long summer, but it also seemed like we just got done a couple days ago. So it's good to just flow right into the season again.
Better, saying that you guys are deeper and thought you'll be even better this season. You agree with that, or what's your take?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the first part.
Steve was saying earlier that he thinks you guys will be better this year than you were last year, and partly because you're deeper.
Yeah, man, and then also the experience. We got, just about everybody back from the championship team, and add Nick and Omri and, two guys that are veterans that know how to play. We should be deeper. We got a lot of size too, coming off the bench, and but it's a matter of us going out there and staying locked in. That's always been the mindset for us, is staying locked in, and for each moment, whether it's 5 minutes of defense tomorrow with Ron Adams or whether it's 10 minutes with Q going over our offensive set, just staying locked in exactly the moments we need to be locked in, and start from day one and see where it takes us.
Last one for KD, second row, left-hand side.
Danny LaRue, The Athletic. Are you any more excited or interested because the teams around you, particularly at the top, changed so much this year, particularly Houston, OKC, Cleveland?
No, I'm just focused on us, focused on how we can get better every single day. Those teams are amazing teams that are going to have great seasons, I'm sure. But, it's tough enough to worry about yourself and worry about someone else. So I just rather focus on us.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate that.
In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station.
Radio Hall of Fame basketball. The first NBA radio for all the fans around the world. Radio Hall of Fame basketball. We talk about NBA. We talk about passion. We are your radio.